Alright, we're cooking with gas. So, I'm bringing you a new video that I fever dreamed in the last 20 minutes. It's late. My kids are asleep. Let's do mental health. This video is about 3 ways to help mitigate your depression. I wrote this backwards. I'm pretty impressed with myself. So, if you're new here, I'm Steph. I am a registered nurse who has been a stay-at-home mom for the last 5 years. I have 2 kiddos, and I make mental health videos in my kitchen with my cats. So I have just garden variety depression. I've had it for as long as I can remember, and I have it from kind of a combination of genetics and having kind of a difficult life. There are a lot of things that happened when I was a kid that were really hard. So right now with COVID and police brutality and the political unrest going on, my depression is really sucking, and it's making it really hard to get things done and to live the way I want to live. So I've been thinking about some basic ways that I've been mitigating my depression, and I wanted to share them with you. These aren't gonna fix everything, but they're helping me, and maybe they'll help you too. So the first thing is you gotta name it. I have literally named my depression. My depression is named Steve, and this is a video for adults because I'm gonna curse a lot in this one. Steve is an asshole. I am not Steve. I am a really kind, hopeful, hardworking person who has lots of energy and love to give and is really excited about life. Steve, my depression, is this asshole who lives in my body and doesn't pay rent. He's the worst. The worst. Steve follows me around and tells me what a shitty job I'm doing. He tells me that my marriage sucks and my kids are awful and I'm an awful mom. He just is the worst ever, and he whispers really scary things to me. He talks about how maybe it would be better if I wasn't around, and that's really not real, and I know that. But if Steve would stop telling me, it would be so cool. It would make my life a lot more streamlined, a lot easier. So the first step I would recommend: go ahead and name your depression, because you are not your depression. Your depression is an outside force, be it chemical, be it trauma-based, that isn't helping you and is actively hurting you. When you can separate yourself from your depression, from whatever it is that gives you those feelings, it's a lot easier, because you stop feeling like, I am such a failure, I am the worst, I don't deserve to live. You can actually think about it as a separate person, a separate part of your personality, whatever works for you. Steve is such a dick. Steve has been telling me all day how shitty I am. I don't have to listen to Steve. He's an asshole anyways. He doesn't even have a job. Steve is a virgin that can't drive. So, a way that I think is also nice, you can create some kind of a symbol for your depression. It could be a picture that you draw. It could be a stuffed animal, though I find that difficult because I like stuffed animals. You can name your depression after somebody that you really don't like. Your depression could be named after a political figure. It could be named after a person in your life who was mean to you. If you want, you can name your depression mom or dad, or both. Whatever works. So after we've named our depression, we're going to starve it. Now, if someone's living in your house and you don't want them to be there, you're not nice to them. You don't keep giving them blankets and giving them cookies and telling them that they can use the Wi-Fi. You change the Wi-Fi. You turn the AC off so they're uncomfortable. You tell them that there's no more water. You don't buy them pizza rolls. They don't deserve pizza rolls because you want them to leave your house. So what does that mean for our depression. That means that's different than like fighting your depression. We're not trying to do that. We don't need to put that kind of onus on ourselves, that kind of pressure. What we are doing is we're trying, so here's me, here's Stephanie, here's Steve, my depression. I'm not trying to do anything to hurt or challenge Stephanie right now, but I'm trying to starve Steve. I'm trying to make him smaller so that he's more manageable and Stephanie is bigger. This is what we're looking for. This is not what we want. We want this. You are bigger than your depression by starving it. That can be looking for the ways that your depression can like pick up fuel in your life. So for me, some of those things are getting rid of problematic media. I routinely take Facebook off my phone for like a week or two at a time, because seeing like repetitive images of police brutality make it so that I'm not helping, but they are hurting my ability to like kind of stick with things because they're so overwhelming. I can't see images of people being beaten every day. That's not good for me. That feeds Steve. And I want him smaller so that I can keep fighting. I got rid of clothes that I don't fit into. I don't keep like jeans that one day maybe I'll fit in. That is not a healthy thing for me. I think it isn't for a lot of people. So, and that just like, that gives Steve a hard on. He loves it. He loves it when I'm miserable about my body. So I don't give him the opportunity. I starve my depression by not following like problematic or media that's problematic for me. I don't follow mom blogs that talk about like childhood nutrition. Both of my kids have a lot of food allergies and intolerances. So seeing moms make these like beautiful bento boxes for their children just make me feel terrible because my kids live off of foods that they're not allergic to, and they're not pretty foods. Like a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, all organic, could send my kids to the hospital, but they do great with chicken nuggets. So I have to take that, even though it's not something inherently problematic. There's nothing wrong with people giving their kids like these beautiful meals, but that's something that hurts, or it feeds my depression because I compare myself to these other women, and it's not healthy for me. I don't hang out with moms here in Seattle who have a tremendous amount of more money than I do, because I found it makes me really, really jealous. Yeah, so there are things like that in your life, like not hanging out with people who, that wasn't a great example. I don't hang out with people who make me feel bad about not being in the same economic ring that they are. Because here in Seattle, there are a lot of people with just whopper salaries. I mean, it's out of control. So like, when people talk about taking multiple Hawaiian vacations in a year, I don't need that. I don't need that at all. Okay, so the last step, first we named it, then we've been working at starving it. When you are feeling strong enough, the next step is to fight it. Now, I know that sounds really hard, but remember, your depression is not someone who's nice to you. They live in your house and they're very mean to you. You are Macaulay Culkin, and your depression is the guys from Home Alone who are trying to break in and get all your stuff. Your depression is Joe Pesci, and he has no business in your fucking house. So, whatever it takes to fight him is a great idea. For me, the first step in fighting my depression is antidepressants. I've been on antidepressants for 4 years, and they absolutely changed my life. I had to try a couple, and I've been on different dosages throughout it. I'll probably be on them the rest of my life. They're not the option for everybody. For me, they are a really great part of my arsenal in fighting my depression. Another huge part of my arsenal was doing therapy. I'm not currently in therapy, but I have been on and off the last 4 years, and it's given me a lot of valuable tools, if you will, weapons for fighting my depression. It's taught me how to speak to myself kindly, how to make healthy barriers and boundaries, how to call myself out for doing things that aren't healthy. And yeah, I just think therapy is invaluable. I recognize how difficult it is to access therapy. I recognize that privilege. I wish it wasn't there. But finding ways that you can get those things that you need um, will really help you. You know, every weapon that you have. Some other weapons include exercising and eating well. Not being thin, not dieting, but eating well. And if for you and your depression, that means eating cereal 3 times a day, you are killing it. You are doing amazing, because anything that you do to keep going is fighting. For you, if you have like suicidal ideation, fighting could be telling someone else how you're feeling. It could be removing things that you could hurt yourself with from your home. You know, throwing away your razor blades. My gosh, making sure there are no guns in your home. That's the best place to start. There are just so many things you can do to fight your depression. Making these videos is a really great thing for me because I get to kind of continue to practice the craft that I did when I was working as a nurse. I get to keep doing community health, keep doing mental health work, which I'm really passionate about. And it gives me something I'm doing that isn't just being a mom. And that gives me such a boost to my self-esteem and my self-image. For you, it could be kind of anything you're passionate about, even if it's something other people think is not cool or is stupid. Because we don't have the time to worry about those people. And also, they are not fighting your depression, you are. So if anime makes you feel strong, if sports make you feel strong, if The Real Housewives makes you feel strong, whatever it is, that sounds great. As long as it's not actively hurting you, as long as it's not feeding your depression, if it's helping make you stronger, that's a great place to be. So this was pretty fast and loose, but I hope you found something helpful in it for you. I'll go through these signs again. Don't forget, name your depression. Once you name something, it takes out a lot of the mystery. Once we know that Voldemort is here, we can start to fight him. Starve it. Try to think about the things in your life that are making your depression worse and see how you can mitigate them. Talk about it with someone you trust. Research it, spitball it. There's always something you can do, even if it's really small. Fight it. Depression for most of us is a lifelong battle. I know it'll be with me probably always, but I know that with the tools that I have and with the support that I get, it's a fight that I can keep fighting. It is really, really hard right now. I just want to normalize that for you if you're feeling it. These are incredibly difficult times, and I know I'm really struggling. If you're having a hard time, I hope that you remember that you're really worthwhile. I say this a lot, but you're the only one of you that will ever come. You know, you're never going to be back in this place and time. Thank God. Thank God we're going to get out of here eventually, out of 2020. But there will never be another you. You are so precious and so important. So I'm really glad that you're here, and I hope that you'll keep fighting through it. So Seattle Mom cares about you, and I'll talk to you soon.